welcome to another episode of the Miles Offside podcast, where we talk a little bit of football and a whole lot of nothing. My name is Oscar Puente, also known as Footy From Afar, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts Chuck Bailey and super producer Ian Stimpson. Gentlemen, been washing our hands?
Washing my hands, keeping them nice and clean all the time. Tiger King's weird, eh?
Yeah. You too, huh?
Straight in.
That's bloody weird. I've been watching that today. Just seen the first episode. Pretty much fresh from watching that. Yeah, there's some interesting people.
Really, really, really fucking weird. We're like 5 episodes in, and every episode adds another layer of insanity to the show. Ian, have you heard about this?
I've heard about it, but I've not seen it. So and I said to Kel, because it isn't one of the guys in it, the guy that Louis Theroux did a documentary with, or like years and years ago, went to see him. Who has all sorts
like
of mad
he would be
animals, right? Okay, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So if you're telling me it's worth a watch, then you're just adding layers of recommendation on. So yeah,
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
We're watching it, and I can't stop.
That's fine.
But
That'll do.
is it worth the hours that I'm spending sitting there? I don't know.
That reaches basic Corona level lockdown expectations. That's fine. It is. I'm still watching it. That's fine. I'll take that.
It is hours worth of stuff to sit in front of and be confused by. So
it would scratch that true crime itch. That's kind of, you know, you've had Don't Fuck With Cats, and now a big documentary about cats.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Oh my God. It's so, like, do you remember last year, I was down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for Chelsea versus Man City. It was like one of the few good games under Sarri last year. And I didn't get to record with you guys because we were in Myrtle Beach and a snowstorm blizzard went across the entire South. And they had like basically never had snow before is how they reacted compared to like how the Northeast does. So they canceled our flight. So we just got in a rental car and drove for like 20 hours straight until we got back. The thing we were about to do in Myrtle Beach after leaving Buffalo Wild Wings and watching the Chelsea match was go to a tiger farm exhibit place.
Yeah. Farm feels like a bad word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not being milked.
Enclosure. the guy, Chuck, the other guy with the ponytail and the goatee, who also owns a tiger reserve.
The white guy with the goatee called like Bhagavan Antul or something.
Yeah, and it translates to like Lord and Savior. And the one with like the well, I don't know what episode you're up to or if it's the spoilers or not, but it's the guy from Myrtle Beach.
He's no, I've seen that guy.
We almost went to that place. I could have had a like tiger cub in my lap if it wasn't for the fucking snowstorm that caused me to drive from South Carolina to Rhode Island last year.
So morally, that would put you in a very difficult place right now watching this documentary.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not the main guy, so
I'm enjoying it. Happy international break, then, guys.
Oh yeah,
you know,
that's right.
Not having football. I only realised this last night that actually it's international break at the minute. So
what's going on in the Nations League? I never keep up with that.
Yeah, what international break would this have been? More importantly, do I have 2 weeks to think about my transfer then? Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I made a transfer this morning.
Unless you're playing... Of course you did.
Yep.
He's going to take hits by the end of the week.
I did not. I haven't taken a hit since like March 12 or something. So we're coming up on a month in a couple of weeks.
Good. There's been no football. You're saying this like you need a badge of honour.
I took a points hit after the last Premier League match got played.
Yeah. For the game week that never happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I brought in Ruben to my team this morning. So
naturally.
Mahrez for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I heard he's back. You know, that...
no one's back.
That ligament's doing a lot better, so...
No one's back. All out.
Nothing's back.
Everyone's out.
All out. Unless you're playing Belarusian Fantasy Premier League, because that's doing the round.
Yeah, it's the only thing still going. So have you watched any? Is it available for streaming?
No, I try and stay away from that. My years of gambling addictions just mean that I'm kind of... staying from there. Although they do have one of my favourite team names, which is Slutsk.
There you go.
And Minsk. So when you look at it, it kind of looks like it says Minge Sluts.
Okay.
So what are we doing this week?
This week, I mean, you've already started punning, so let's have an extended Ian's Hole.
No, the team tune. Sorry. Ian's Hole, man. Ian's Hole, man.
What I was waiting for.
Yeah.
So we've had emails. That's the big news.
We've
had emails, but one of them is from Eric Meyer. And he got in touch to inform us that he was the Tug Johnson who reviewed us on Apple Podcasts.
Okay, so it isn't a real name. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting internet pseudonym,
Tug
Johnson.
He could have just gone with Maya Wiener. Oscar, Maya, Wiener, Oscar.
Yeah.
We've got Oscar.
Yeah. It's all there.
Tenuous, yeah.
He says it was just a happy coincidence that we read out his review on the penis episode, where we had our various penis 11s and rude things 11s. That was just a happy coincidence. But someone else did a really good pun 11, and we don't give him credit very often. It's not to do with penises, which is a shame. But it is to do. It's always a shame. It is to do with cheese, though, which is another thing we love.
Oh, you do like a bit of cheese.
Which is a thing we love, not another thing. The first thing was penises, so
Yeah.
cheese is a thing we
Quite
love.
fond of my own. I don't know.
You know, speak for yourself, Ian. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
This is Zac Efron's dick. You know, we've got to remember this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he didn't actually tweet this to us, but Adam P deserves some credit for his cheese 11. So, you ready for this?
I'm ready. Strapped in.
In goal, Quark Schwarzer.
Right. Already, I'm not really.
You're not happy with that start.
Yeah.
Okay. Defence, Cheddar Aspilaqueta.
Yes. Love
Right,
it.
better.
Very good.
Breeder Hangerland.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. We're back on track now.
Back in. Okay.
I'm on the train.
Soul Cam Baby Bell.
There it is.
Nah.
Oh no, that's not. I thought that was
No.
strong.
I'm on
Okay,
board.
he's going to bring you back in with this one, I think. Pablo Zabafetta.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Tick.
Henry Cotter Mkhitaryan.
No.
Wow.
That's a stretch, isn't it?
Yeah. But did he say Premier League 11? Because
I don't. He just cheese. Don't,
where is he?
I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
Dairy Lee Bowyer.
Yeah.
Bare
Average,
minimum
middling. That's
requirements,
middling.
yeah.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
an acceptable cheese pun. No more, no less.
Monterey Jack Grealish.
Yes. Perfect.
It's long. It's
Crushed it.
extended.
No, I like that one. That's my favorite one, I think.
Okay.
Jack Grealish.
Yeah, that's actually, if Brie hadn't already been used, but yeah. And his front three is Dennis Giles Bergkamp.
Right.
Okay.
Giles
Okay.
Berg,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Edam Hazard.
Fine.
Yes.
And Gianfranco Gorgonzola.
That's it. And thematically
Finish
works
strong.
Italian. Layered. I can appreciate that. So that was God, you could tell it's international rate, can't you?
Yeah, he had a lot of time to think about that, but I enjoyed the cheese 11.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Any more themed 11s? I'm here for it.
Yes,
for them.
do
Love the
submit
puns.
all your themed 11s. We would love to hear them.
But let's talk about Patreon. So you can go to patreon.com/milesoffsidepod, and we've got a Slack that you could have access to. We've got extra pods. Oscar made a quarantine playlist, a Spotify playlist this week, and then put a pod out to the patrons talking them through it, which is one of your favourite things to do, talking through a playlist. An eclectic quarantine playlist you released this week, Oscar.
Yeah. I mean, we're all stuck inside, so why not take people on a musical tour around the world? I wanted to talk people through it because I put a lot of love and time into my playlists, and so there's a logic to it. They're built in a specific order and all those things.
Yeah,
which
you talked us through. It was beautiful. And we'll put a link to that Spotify playlist on the show notes. It runs the gamut. I was delighted to see Junior Senior in there.
yeah.
Oh,
I love
hello.
that track.
That's a good one.
Absolutely great
And
track.
a great music video.
Yes, yeah, and I did talk about that in the Patreon pod.
It's a good tunes there. So if you need something to, it's lengthy as well. 47. Have you added
50,
a few?
I added the 3 more, so I'm up to 50. Yeah, so 50 songs. Built in 2s and 3s, so like a little bit of rap, a little bit of Latin music, a little bit of dancey pop, all that sort of stuff. Some classic rock in there.
You translating some Spanish on the Patreon pod as well?
Yeah, impromptu. I wasn't planning on it.
Linguistic
But
action there. It was amazing. So anyway, you can get on the Slack, you can get on the extra pods, all that stuff. And because we're not doing football pods at the minute, everything's a bit up in the air and everyone's looking for some entertainment, we have suspended our payments on Patreon. So you can get on board for free for the moment. We'll let everyone know before we restart the payments, but it won't be until the football starts again. And someone who did that and came on board on the producer level is Mark Howells. New Patreon, Mark Howells.
Mark Howells. Oh!
Good personalised jingle there.
You're welcome.
And he can also, as a producer, one of the perks is that he can, and we might need some content for fuck's sake over these next few weeks. He can pick a topic that we will do an episode on, a deep dive. It can be football, it could be not football, whatever. We will do that. That's something you get as a producer. So thanks, Mark. So also, let's go now, because all the other stuff we've got is from Patreons on the Slack, which has been a nice little distraction while we've all been looking for something to do. And the other producer, Nate Whittam, he asks, what was, in quotations, the story or incident at your school? Was there a legendary story or incident that made the rounds at your school?
There's two that come to mind, and one involves a kid that was in my class, and we were in, I think we were in the third year of secondary school, so we're like 13, 14, and on the train into school, he, with some girls that were at the local girls' school, drank like a shitload of spirits and what have you on the train into school at about 8:30. He then gets into class, like a few of us see him, and it is horrific. Like, he stinks. He's all over the place, slurring, what have you. Outrageous. Even when they're like taking the register at the beginning of the day, like his head's on his arms on the table, and like we have to poke him, and he just goes, "Ah!" And the teacher doesn't notice. He gets into the first lesson, and so this is at about, I don't know, probably about 9:05 at this point. Gets into the first lesson with this maths teacher, and I can't remember what her name was now. Probably for the best, but she was Northern.
Probably for the best.
And he's doing the register that time, and whilst he's saying here, he vomits all over the table. Oof. And the teacher, just being this lovely woman, is just like, "Oh, Charlie, you should have told me. You should have told me you weren't well." And so he then gets obviously taken down to like the medical bit with whatever teacher or whoever was looking after like that bit today. And then they kind of realise that he's drunk, so they call his parents, and his parents has to come in, and his mum comes in, sees him, sees that he's drunk, and backhands him to the floor.
Fuck.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. She did this again a few years later, after I pierced his ear in a toilet in Croydon. What's the shopping centre called? The Whitgift Centre. The Whitgift Centre. After he wanted to get his ear pierced, we couldn't find the ear piercing place, so I asked the woman in the knitting section, "Do you have any big needles?" And she reluctantly sold me one.
Hang on, this wasn't after asking the same woman, "Is the ear piercing place open?"
Same woman, same section, yeah.
So having said, "No, that's not open," your next question was, "Okay, have you got any
buy
big
this
needles?"
needle? Yeah.
Unrelated, but I need a sewing needle right now.
Yeah. She kind of clocked what was going on. I mean, the bravado on me, like, I don't think I've ever been that brazen in my life, ever, believe it or not, to just go, "Oh, so the place isn't open? Okay, can I get this, please?"
I love that your friend was like, "Yeah, sure, you can pierce my ear in a public bathroom. That's totally normal."
Yeah, that was a mess. That was a fucking mess.
Unsterile needle.
Jeez. So him getting drunk and throwing up everywhere was another one. A secondary one to the secondary one was that a kid in the year below, and this nickname stuck with him then for 5 years, it was stated that when he was manually trying to pleasure a lady, he went too far, and she didn't stop him, and thus the nickname Poo Fingers was born.
Oh.
And so for 5 years he was called Poo Fingers.
That's so delightfully childish as well. Poo Fingers, not shit fingers. No, Poo Fingers.
Poo Fingers.
Fucking hell. Oh dear. Right, go on then, Oscar. What have you got?
Okay, well, Chuck just reminded me of one that I had repressed. It was so horrendous. This kid got caught jerking off in the library.
Oh,
nice.
Just nice, right? I go, oh, Chuck's nice.
Allegedly, I wasn't there for this, and it's never been confirmed, but allegedly someone did it in biology class also in the back of the room into, like, their hoodie, but didn't tell anyone, and, like, nobody found out. Just people around them may have noticed. So, but that's, like, less interesting or whatever. But this kid stayed after school, and we had laptops. Everybody had a laptop that was, like, in the library and assigned to them. And this kid was, like, in the fucking back corner of the library, like, hunched over.
Ugh.
And everyone was like, I don't know what's going on there. I don't want anything to do with that. So, like, this was after school.
Fair,
It was like,
which is fair.
yeah,
You wouldn't
yeah.
want
I was
anything
like,
to do with
no,
it.
thank you.
I'm not going to
ended-
investigate this one.
Yeah, so school ended at 3, and then we didn't have to leave the building till 5. We were just allowed to roam the premises for 2 hours after school to go to, like, clubs, or if you're doing work in the library,
Be
you know,
in the
whatever.
corner, yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And this was like 4:55, and, like, the lights were starting to come off, and he was still in there. And we were all like, we just sat around the corner so that, like, we didn't have to look at him, but we were like, something's gonna happen. Like, he's like, something's gonna get happen.
That's sort of the point.
He got caught, and he was kicked out of school like a week later.
For that, yeah?
Yeah, for that. Yeah. And, like, allegedly, like, it wasn't just regular. You know, I mean, we're 14-year-old boys. It was an all-boys school, so
It
everything
wasn't
was
just regular
rumors.
wanking.
We heard it wasn't regular porn, and that's why he got kicked out. instead
Oh,
of just,
right.
like,
What he was looking at was even...
Yeah.
Right, it was quite bad.
But, like,
And he
you
was
know,
using
I'm
a Bible and...
Yeah. So that's the one that I had forgotten, and then I have 2 that I prepared for the show. But we're just
Forgotten
here looking to
/
fill time
repressed.
anyway. Yeah, exactly. Neither of them nearly as erotic.
Salacious.
Yeah, salacious. The first one happened to my best man. Both of these, the reason I couldn't pick between the 2 of them is because both of them got the maximum punishable sentence that wasn't getting kicked out of school. Okay. And one was me, and one was my best man at my wedding, best friend at the time, you know. So the first one was him. We were the only 2 with fake IDs for buying alcohol. So we used to, like, supply all the house parties and stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I just, by pure luck, didn't happen to be with him this time because it was mostly just the 2 of us. But he was at the local, like, grocery store supermarket near the school because we were having a party. The guy's house that we were having at the party was, like, really near the school. So he's in line, and he's got, like, boxes, fucking crates of Bud Lights, you know, just, like, shitty high school beer. He's buying, like, 60, 70 beers, just cases of the thing.
Love a Bud Light.
And he gets in line, and he gets up to the front to check out, and the guy behind him in line goes to the cashier kid, you know, I could have you get in trouble for this. I could have you arrested. And the is like, what? I shouldn't say his name.
I'll bleep it. That's fine.
Okay, fine. Yeah, there you go. He turns around and he goes, what? And it was our fucking principal
No.
behind him in line. And the principal let it play out so that it wasn't even like, oh, I was playing it off as a joke.
Yeah,
Or like, no,
he's
it was
buying
like
all the beer.
red-handed with crates of beer. And he, God bless him, what a trooper, fell on that grenade for us. He didn't say where the party was.
Good man.
He said he was just buying it for himself. The principal was
I actually have a problem.
yeah, exactly.
I need help.
But I can't even imagine that sinking feeling that you get, like, when it's the principal in line behind you with, like, stacks of beers.
Yeah.
Like, so he got the maximum penalty for that, and then I got the maximum penalty because
Wait, punished for being outside of school and drinking and trying to buy beer?
yeah. So there was a private school. I went to, like, a relatively well-to-do fancy private school. I was there on a scholarship, which is how I was there. But so they had, like, code of conduct that extended beyond the school day because you are a representative of a revered institution, blah, 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 blah. Like,
Fucking narcs.
I can already fast forward to, like, Wednesday, and we're listening to this, and Emily's just rolling her eyes sitting right next to me. Being like, yeah, you guys are fucking pricks about how fancy your school is. So, you know, that we had a code of conduct that was, like, within a 1-mile radius of the school building.
God.
We weren't allowed to break any school rules. And then, like, if you got in enough trouble outside of your community, you still would get in trouble. So, yeah, he was, like, fucked.
Okay.
Right, okay.
But I was in high school right when the poker thing was taking off, and it, like, became a huge, huge thing in the US. I don't know if it took off over there necessarily.
Poker, or like online poker?
online poker and just like poker in general.
Yeah, definitely.
Like early 2000s.
Oh, I got in some trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. So
quite a lot of debt.
Because the school was so far into the city, everyone commuted there. I had like an hour and a half commute on the subway to get there. People were coming from like the suburbs and like, 2-hour train rides and stuff to get in. So we all would just stay in the city until like dinner time and then go home because like our parents, what are they going to fucking do? Come get us? Wait, you have to let me go to Manhattan tomorrow for school again. So we just stayed out till dinner a lot. And right when the poker craze like really took off, we were like, all right, we got to get a regular poker game going. Just like, we're again, high school boys. It was an all boys school. And so we started running a card game that was essentially a like casino of sorts, in that I would organize the games. Me and my buddy, we knew spreadsheets. So, gotta love spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Naturally.
So instead of like having a ton of cash, because again, this was a prep school, so a lot of the kids were like rich. So they were playing for like big sums of money all the time. And I was like, well, I can run the numbers for you and keep track of who owes what, so you guys don't have to have cash all the time, and I'll take a little bit of the winnings.
So I was enterprising. This is
exactly,
should be encouraged.
I mean, a kid from the hood all of a sudden gets thrown into a building with 200, trust fund babiys.
What are you gonna
and
do?
they're like, we want to give our money away. I'm like, I can help you with that. Sure.
Graciously accept.
Absolutely.
I applaud your entrepreneurship and ingenuity, sir.
Absolutely.
This kid from the year beneath us, fucking idiot. I won't even say his name. I will not speak his name. To this day, it's been like 20 years now, almost. It's been like 15 years, let's say. Fucking moron printed out the spreadsheet of who owed what so that he could like keep track
copies.
better.
Come on.
Yeah. And of course left it in the library.
Oh, matey boy was wanking over it.
Yeah, exactly. And, I was clearly the one running it. But because we like didn't get in trouble and nothing happened on school property, like that, I think like that's the kind of thing I could have gotten kicked out for, but...
Is it because the spreadsheet said Oscar's super awesome casino spreadsheet?
Once someone finds it, and that kid wasn't really friends with us, it got big enough that like random kids would show up. We would play in the Subway sandwiches. We knew a guy who worked at the Subway, and so they didn't fucking care as long as we got food. They would just let us take over the entire like back half of the restaurant. So there would be like 40 kids after school just playing cards in the Subway sandwiches.
Was it like roped off? Did you have security? How serious was it?
No, but it was like it was a random teenager working behind the counter, and like as long as we weren't taking all the seats and eating all their food, he was like, fine, whatever. So we would go after school for like 3-4 hours every night and just play cards. And I got pretty good at poker from doing that. But like, it got big enough that like random kids from like not even that we were friends with, not even from our year, would be like, hey, I heard you guys run a card game at a Subway after school.
Amazing.
So I got found out for that. I got 30 hours of detention.
30 hours, jeez.
Yeah. I didn't get kicked out, so I guess it worked out. I got to keep all the money.
You're Robbie Savage. You just got to go right up to the line and then not cross it. Was that him?
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
All right. Well, Nate had one, which is sort of similar, I must admit, to Chuck's actually, but his is the party bus. In 2014, just before Nate went into high school, which makes him fucking young.
Fucking young.
Ugh. A group of 15 or so juniors who are 16 to 18 years old rented a party bus to take them to prom. As everyone there was a minor, one of the parents rented and paid for it. And because of this, the bar was fully stocked and open. No parents were actually in attendance during the drive, so kids being kids, the bar was raided hard.
Yeah, sure.
The bus was stopped by police, and all 15 kids were busted for being a minor in possession, and next year's prom was cancelled.
Holy shit.
that is massive, isn't it? You would hate those kids. But they deserve something because they got drunk enough that it was clear what had been going on. It was only a half-hour drive. That is some strong work. That is like your man on the train.
That's a Mike Ashley power drinking night there.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Fireplace is optional. They're going for that. I just thought that deserved a little name check that one. When it's that bad that next year's prom gets cancelled, punishing kids who were nothing to do with it. Just...
And if you are an underage listener, don't do any of these things.
Don't
We
do that.
do not endorse them on any level whatsoever.
Totally do them.
Totally
do it.
A podcast. It's fine.
Live the life. Live the life.
Just take it like Oscar, right up to the line. Right up to the line.
Yep, not past the line.
So Nate also asks, if you were quarantined with any footballer, who would it be and why?
Oh, interesting question.
You sure it's not Ruben? Are you actually going to think about it, or is it just Ruben Loftus-Cheek
No,
straight?
I'm pretending it's just Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
I was pretending.
Wait, no. So actually, does it have to be a current footballer? Because if it's retired ones, I'm going to go for Michael Ballack. Because if you guys think I have a man crush on Ruben Loftus-Cheek, you don't even remotely know.
Half of it.
Yeah.
You want to see his Michael Ballack's?
Yeah, sure.
Nice.
There you go.
I've enjoyed. It's kind of a left field kind of selection here. I've really enjoyed seeing what James Milner's been up to during the whole quarantine. So I'm going to hang out with Milner.
Yeah.
I want to go out and trim the grass with scissors and sort my tea bags and just fully play up to stereotype.
The way he's lent into that boring James Milner thing is absolutely brilliant. I love the man for that. So good. Even though his isolation 11 was pretty poor, it was literally just things in the house. Like, they were nothing really to do with being isolated, just that they were in the house.
Oh, the puns that he did, yeah. Yeah, there were some pretty terrible ones there.
Yeah. I mean, Frank Lampard, what's the lamp got to do with self? It's just in the room with you. It's nothing to do with self-isolation or anything. But I appreciated him getting involved. Yeah, Milner's good.
There's been a lot of good, stuck at home professional footballer videos coming out, at least within the Chelsea community, and I'm assuming it's the same within every other fan community. But like, there's Zaha or Milivojevic are posting up cool things that Pal's Twitter's just getting all over. But it's been highly entertaining to seeing all the people. Dele Alli did The Lion King with his pet dog. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No.
He holds him. He played the scene from the live action movie on his projector that was like the size of the whole wall. And then he perfectly took the place of the lion cub with his dog and the Rafiki with himself, and he played out the whole scene and was like, circle of life, and held his dog up. It's great.
Oh man, we've got way too much time on our hands at the minute.
I know. Pulisic started a TikTok and it's all just dancing. It's just videos of him dancing. I'm like, I don't understand the youth. Why TikTok? Why that?
I don't know. Stimson, who are you hanging out with?
I didn't have anyone really beyond the Milner thing because I just think you're
were
right.
You going for Milner as well?
I was going to go Milner as well. Yeah, it's too easy, isn't it? I guess if I want someone else maybe then from the football world who I could be quarantined with would be Darren McAntony. I mean the man is at the very start of this coronavirus thing, he was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It'll blow over. It's absolutely fine." Then Portsmouth had some players who were tested positive or were self-isolating or whatever.
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'd played them the previous week, and suddenly he was all turned around on it because Peterborough might have been decimated by virus.
Yeah.
So suddenly he was like, "Oh, I think we should probably stop the league for a while, everyone. Just chill out." Well, anyway.
And get all your players and staff tested.
Yeah, paid privately to get everyone tested. So he's now isolating or in quarantine or whatever in Orlando, Florida. So it'd be lovely to go and live with him in his nice big house. He's also now started up a podcast, which is so sort of clumsy in its title. It's called Football Club Chairman, The Hard Truth by Darren McAntony. And whenever
many colons and dashes in there.
And whenever he references, there's a couple of episodes out, and they're a fine listen. It's okay, it's good to have that sort of access. But whenever he references the podcast, he does the whole thing. So it's Football Club Chairman, A Hard Truth by Darren McAntony. It's like, yeah, we know Darren. We know it's you. You don't need to keep saying. It's like us going by miles offside. Oscar, Chuck and Ian. It's just really weird and clumsy. But so I'll go and be quarantined with Darren. He's got more money than me. He's got a nice swimming pool. So I'll go with him.
Yeah, fair enough. Lovely weather.
Exactly. Let's go to another Patreon, Andy Penpraise. This is our Qatar listener. It's just a simple one, this. When do we think a football will next be kicked competitively?
Next season. I think they're just abandoning this season, and I think
you still think voiding is the most likely thing.
Yep, I do.
It's a weird one because they did have a meeting and said that they were committed to finishing the season. That was a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago now. I forget, time all melding into one now. But then obviously the FA, and you mentioned this on the chat, Oscar, about the FA shutting down all women's football, as in voiding the season of women's football and everything below the National League. And I think we jokingly sort of poo-pooed it at the time, me and Chuck, saying that, oh, well, some fat Sunday League footballers aren't going to have their season voided, never mind. But there is a little bit of inkling from the FA now that is the route they're looking to take it down. Obviously, the FA control everything below the Premier League. So it's sort of... They're
starting to back down to go into like, oh, it'll be behind closed doors.
Well, that's the thing. Like the FA are saying things like all difficult decisions are going to have to be made. That was their press release the other day. It's like, yeah, no shit. You know, you don't need to do a press release saying that. You know, but that suggests prepare yourself because it's going to be bad sort of thing. So, do you think that's more of a preparation for playing behind closed doors or a preparation for voiding?
I still think they'll play out the season,
even in the championship.
Just because there'll be because there'll be kickoffs about all the promotions and lawsuits, and it's going to get so messy that they'll have to play out those games.
Yeah,
just because, like we've said before, with the money involved, and the same with the UEFA competitions. Like you have a team like Leicester, who, if the season's voided, well, they're in third. They don't get Champions League.
To me, all this behind closed doors stuff sounds like herd immunity did a few weeks ago. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh yeah, this is gonna
Fair
be.
enough. Yeah.
No, it's not. Sorry, guys, it's really not. Like, this is just. I think logistically, like, I'll say this then: if they do decide that they need to finish playing this season out, there's gonna be a shortened season or a season completely cut somewhere because Euros summer 2021. World Cup January 2022, like 7 months later, which is already going to break that season in half. There's not time for 2.5 seasons or even 1.5 seasons before.
Yeah, but that's the next FIFA chairman's problem to worry about when this one gets done for corruption as well, or whatever.
Kicking it down the road. I
think mid-May they start closed doors. They'll get 9 games done in about 5-6 weeks.
Wow!
So around end of June. Finished.
So you're saying Prem mid-May for next time a ball gets kicked?
Yeah, because that's about 5-6 weeks away.
Whereas Oscar, if you think voiding, do you think mid-August start next season?
Maybe even a little delayed. Mid-August might be optimistic.
Okay. I mean, does there not? Because obviously we're sort of going up the curve now, fucking steeply going up the curve now, and obviously Premier League football getting abandoned happened, a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, on the other side of that curve, you can potentially release lockdown and things a little bit earlier because more of the country would have had it and blah, blah, blah. Hopefully the surge on hospitals will have calmed down a bit. So is there anything of saying, going down the curve, you don't have to be at the same point to release it?
I just think everyone at the minute is assuming that, once the football starts, would mean that everything is back to normal.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any place where everything would open up.
Yeah.
It's not like all of a sudden they'll go, okay, everyone's free to do whatever again. No, it will be the opposite of what they've kind of done, and they'll gradually let more and more things happen. And something like football, if it is going to be played behind closed doors, it's a controlled environment. It's somewhere where people are moaning about people being able to buy tests and etc. But that's a messy situation that can fuck off. But all these footballers are more likely to buy the test. They're going to know. They're going to have been in the quarantine, so they can control their environment. So if it's those people, it's like any group of people that are going into any job right now, really. So I just think in 5-6 weeks they'll bring it back. They'll finish this season because there's still too much uncertainty of. Like Oscar said, if you delay the season coming, then what implications does that have for Euros? I think African Cup of Nations is next year. They've moved that into something else, so it's going to be congested for everyone. So yeah,
I would push it a little bit further back. I think we'll probably mid-June. I think they'll start playing behind closed doors, just because, like you say, I think you can track professional footballers and whether they've got it and track contacts a bit easier.
Yeah.
Whether that's a good decision or not, I'm not making any judgment. But I think behind closed doors is the only way this season gets completed, and I think the Premier League are fairly committed to that. But I mean, even that, it gives them not much chance to sort it. I think the start of next season will be delayed. And I think if this will essentially, for some clubs, just be a pre-season for next season. Look, clubs like Palace, who maybe haven't got that much to play for because they're not going to get relegated. They're probably not going to get into Europe or anything.
Excuse me?
Sorry, mate, yeah.
You watch your tongue. You hold your tongue, sir.
But this might just be a pre-season for him. So it does call into question the integrity of the competition a little bit, but we're in weird times, aren't we? But my prediction would be behind closed doors, sort of middle of June.
Nah, I just don't think Liverpool ever get this title.
Oh, man.
I think like genuinely, I think that's going to be what it is.
It's kind of gone back to being funny again.
yeah, it's a bit, yeah.
Gone back to.
Gutted. Yeah, I went a bit of a circle. I had a moment, a blip, shall we say? Then I remember to hate them, so.
All right, well, we've got a slightly linked question here then, which Oscar may or may not want to partake of. But Sam Danby, he says, select a date in which Liverpool will mathematically win the title. If you're within 6 days, he will upgrade his subscription to producer level. So we've got to try and nominate a day that we think Liverpool will mathematically win the title. So which year are you going for, Oscar?
I mean, yeah, how does that... I'm going to be within 6 days of never.
Yeah, doesn't work for your voiding scenario, obviously.
2024?
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be a super producer in, what's another 30 years?
Oh,
2050.
Yeah. Good luck. I will say, since I think it will get started again mid-June, I'll say mid-July. So I think there's a Saturday, July the 18th. I'd go for that one.
I will say...
You guys are fucking crazy.
June the 6th.
June 6th?
June the 6th.
Well, I guess they only need like 2 more wins, right? So if they don't start till the beginning of June...
I could go earlier, but I'm kind of...
You're out of your fucking mind. You guys are crazy.
I think mid-May. If mid-May, I'm just backing up my earlier prediction.
Yeah, you're going with that. Yeah.
So if mid-May we go for, like, say, the weekend of the 16th, football comes back, or the 23rd, and they'll do 3 games or so in the 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It'll be about then.
You think they'll do that with like a streaming service? Like, remember they were talking about like making a streaming service for season ticket holders to be able to watch the behind closed doors matches?
I don't know. Over here, I don't know how that works with Sky because, I mean, they've still got a contract with Sky for these remaining games. So I don't know how that would work. Whether Sky would... I mean, Sky have now said you can pause your sports subscription online, which they were making people phone up to do it, which is obviously a fucking nightmare. But now you can just go online and pause it, save yourself 20 quid a month or whatever it is. But... would Sky be sort of good enough to put that on free-to-air television? I don't know whether they would, to be honest. Working for them back in the day, I know they were all about the bottom line, so I'm not really sure that would be something they'd do.
I think they'd lease it out. If they were going to do anything, it wouldn't go free-to-air. It would go private services of the clubs.
Oh, right. Okay, even...
I think to season ticket holders, etc.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I hadn't thought about that, of course, yeah, because clubs are going to lose money from having to refund... Yeah, season ticket holders. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah,
and not having
match day revenue,
etc. So,
blimey, God, it's so complicated.
Well, if you, I think a lot of the major VPNs right now are running like super crazy deals. There's a well-known good VPN that's doing a lifetime subscription for like $40 right now. So you buy a lifetime subscription VPN.
Yeah.
You use someone. Maybe you have an American friend
for instance,
has a Premier League subscription for NBC Sports, and you just stream them that way.
Yeah, I might not be unpausing Sky Sports, let's just say that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For $20 a month or 10 quid a month, like that adds up quickly to the $40 lifetime.
Exactly. Right, okay. Now, I think we will possibly end on this one. It depends. Let's see. But Andy Pempraise again, he paints a picture, right? So settle in for this one.
Like proper, actually, like Bob Ross?
No, sorry, not literally, metaphorically.
Oh.
Sorry. I should have made that clear on an audio medium.
I'm feeling very literal.
Yeah, okay, fine. It's the 2020-21 season. Peterborough have been promoted to the Championship, and Palace are in Europe.
Naturally, of course we are.
The devil approaches you all and says that he can make Chelsea win the Champions League, plus give you an invincible Premier League season next season. Palace will finish second in the Prem and win the Europa League, and will go on to win the Premier League in the following season.
Mm-hmm. Taking you down, Oscar.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. Peterborough will win the championship and do a domestic cup double. While you're busy with all that, we'll just do a quick cup double.
That's fair.
No worries. Yeah.
And England will win the Euros in style.
Oh, I'm out.
I'm not bothered.
I'm out.
Followed by...
Sorry.
Just give us that positive.
Okay, all right.
Followed by the World Cup final, the following World Cup final being USA versus England. I think we can all agree that's a lovely picture he paints.
Sure.
Right.
But as payment, the Devil will randomly select one of your 3 clubs to be purchased by Mike Ashley with a will not sell clause and sign Pardew as manager on an indefinite contract. He'll randomly select another club to be relocated to Scotland and join the SPL.
But after all these things happen.
After all these things have happened, yeah. And only one of your teams escapes punishment. Do we accept the deal? Bear in mind that all 3 of us have to say yes for it to happen.
Yes.
2/3 majority?
Yes.
He said
No,
he makes
instant,
the rules
yes,
and he says
yes.
all 3 of us.
I'll do it. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I'll do
take
it.
it.
Also,
yes.
yeah.
Can England be the team that gets relocated to Scotland? No, that will be. And can Mike Ashley and Pardew do USA?
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. But this surprises me because I was erring on the side of no. But because you guys have tasted, especially Oscar, tasted some level of team success before. So
Yeah.
why...
Zenith Data Systems Cup in 1990.
Exactly.
1990. That's all.
Some level.
That's all the success.
Some level of success.
I don't even count playoff championship trophies. I don't. Or the
Jose
no.
would.
Can I amend the offer slightly so that it's like a definitive yes for me?
Right.
Because right now there's like one tiny thing that I'm like, oh, maybe not. That's the only like 2% of a no.
Okay.
Right.
Fucking invincible season. I don't give a fuck if you draw 90. Like, fuck Liverpool, fuck Arsenal. I genuinely don't care about an invincible season.
Liverpool haven't done it. So
No.
Well, fine, but you know when that was the story.
Oscar wants the highest expected
everyone
points
was like,
ever.
oh, yeah. I just want the points total. Yeah. If you change the Invincibles to points total, I don't give a fuck if we lose the last however many games, as long as we have the most points.
Well, I suppose for you relocating to Scotland, it doesn't matter because you don't go to games anyway.
Correct.
And then but you just win the. If any
We would
3
win
of
it
our
every year.
teams were in the Scottish League, we would win it every year. And I include Peterborough
Right.
in being able to beat Celtic every year because in that Dustman League.
That's really interesting because I had only considered both of those options as complete write-off negatives. Like, you know, Mike Ashley owning your team and Pardew managing. Okay, well, that's
I've had Pardew
Well, I
once,
know,
and
but
you know
not
we don't
forever.
spend money anyway, so
Yeah, but not forever. I mean, that's a team destroyer. And I put going to Scotland and playing in the SPL as a team destroyer as well. But you've maybe said about...
Yeah, I wouldn't
a
mind that
positive
either.
there. Okay.
One of the big takeaways from the honeymoon was that I really, really like Scotland.
Yeah, Scotland itself, I'm
I
sure.
liked it more than England.
But
I
Scottish
think.
football
Like,
is just...
Well, sure, but now I have an excuse to go to Scotland to go watch Chelsea play.
Right, okay.
Right? So, like, the only...
Sorry, I wasn't thinking about the tourism opportunities. I apologise.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah. The only, like, really, really risky thing, and because it's a 1 in 3, that's why I'm like, I'll take my chances with it, is the Mike Ashley thing.
Yeah.
Like, I already follow the Knicks with a terrible owner who refuses to sell and consistently hires bad coaches. So I don't need another one of those in my life, right?
Yeah.
But
bit harsh on Steve Bruce.
just to see the smile on your 2 little faces at the Posh lifting the FA Cup and Palace winning
Oh,
the
so
league.
the way you're seeing it, you're taking a risk bullet for me to possibly have massive success.
taste the glory of
Oh, okay.
Premier League and FA
This
Cup.
has
and all
gone
that.
completely differently to how I thought it would. I was in my head. I was like, "Well, no, there's a 2/3 chance I resign my team to just appalling
doing
negativity."
anything ever.
Yeah, exactly. And,
As opposed to a 100% chance.
well, fuck you. We all, I will defend the pyramid until its last. But I just assumed you guys would be like, well, no risk because I don't want to take a risk because we're in the Premier League. It's fine, but it's gone completely the other way.
I'll take it over because I already deal with the mire of relegation and not knowing whatever. At least if we just get a trophy, like
Yeah.
Europa League, take it. Second in the Premier League, then winning the Premier League, take it. I assume we're winning the Champions League the year after. I'm just assuming.
It's
just
an
assuming
assumption.
that's the trajectory. That's just the trajectory. Those 3 trophies, take that. 100%. Move to Scotland, give it Mike Ashley, whatever, fuck it.
Okay.
Yes.
Chelsea clearly gets the worst deal out of this three. Like, we already won the Champions League.
Yeah.
I guess there's not like that much more left to offer Chelsea other than like to repeat their greatest success.
Yeah.
But like clearly we get the worst deal. I would be doing this for another Champions League and and to see the two of you like achieve those highs.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that I'm the 1 in 3 that doesn't get fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Or at the very worst, like goes to Scotland. I would rather not be a soccer fan than cheer for a Mike Ashley team managed by Pardew. Like,
I don't think you are a football fan if you have Mike Ashley own your club. And that's condolences to Newcastle fans, because there is a kind of gallows humour in that, and I can sympathise with them.
Well, based on the Mike Ashley lockdown attitude, I'm surprised he's not forced Newcastle to stay open and keep playing games.
Oh, he'll get the club seized off him. Like that's just what will happen. He'll get done for spurious trading and inevitable sweatshop big mug makers.
With any luck.
Yeah.
Well, that's gone completely differently, and I appreciate the sacrifice you're willing to take. So I guess I should take the gamble. I can't refuse it.
Rule in. So how do we do it? How do we make this thing happen? Do we have to go down to the crossroads? Do we?
I think the devil's just going to get in touch at crossroads at some point. Yeah.
As long as he stays 2 meters away, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. He's got to observe social distancing, like any of us at the minute.
He's old.
We've got to look after the devil. Yeah. Very old. Yeah. But that's it. My hole is slack,
sealed,
and sealed. Right, let's go with sealed.
We'll plug your hole for now.
Plug my hole. Plug my hole.
Signed, sealed, and
plug
delivered.
Hole. We've got plenty, and to be honest, we need to stretch out the content across these weeks.
Yes, it's the content that needs stretching, not my hole.
Not Ian's hole. No, have to buy a new plug.
All right. Well, I did want to do one thing before we all switch off for the week. To make it let's have some sort of a recurring segment. I'm springing this on them right now. They didn't know about this, but it'll be fine.
Right, I'm scared.
Because I just forgot to say anything. It's very simple. I figure we sign off every week by giving one Corona recommendation for a thing you did this week.
Drink Corona,
that was
yeah, definitely.
Very, very fun. Yeah. So, Chuck, I know you have like one of two things you could choose from, so I'm curious which one you will choose as your isolation recommendation.
I have been running the gauntlet of exciting things to do. So, PlayStation, I have had time and just been smashing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it is probably one of my favourite games I've ever played, ever. It's ridiculous. I've been playing it for like 60 hours, and there's still a ton of stuff to do, and I haven't started DLC, and it's great. So we'll go for that.
Ian, what about you? What's your isolation recommendation of the week?
I'll tell you what we've been doing. Me and Kelly, once Finney's gone to bed, we've been Facebook Live quizzing. That's what we've been doing, which makes us sound pathetic. But there you go. We've been Facebook Live quizzing. We did Friends one the other day, which was so ridiculously hard.
It was ridiculously hard.
That was no fun at all.
Yeah, Oscar bowed out quite early on that one.
Well, because you guys were both doing it with like your significant others sitting next to each other. I was by myself and just bored and like following along some lady who kept being like, "Stop in the comments, please. Stop in the comments, please."
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know any of these. I'm not.
You should have read the comments, then you would have got the answers.
Yeah, there you go. It's true.
Yeah, it got worse as well because we were watching the YouTube stream of it, which immediately got cut because she played the Friends theme tune on it. So copyright infringement algorithm immediately just
with a Central Park logo behind her, a Friends t-shirt on.
By the end of it, she was just against a white background, just doing a passport photo styling. But,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was brilliant. But then last night we did a pub quiz one, which was film and TV stuff, and that was real fun as well. But yeah, that's what we've been doing. Then Facebook quizzing. There's loads to find. There's the same woman who's doing a Disney one next week, which I'm sure you'll be more interested in, Oscar.
Yeah, I'll get on that for sure.
That's on Friday, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And then a Gavin and Stacey one the next week. And then she said, it's not online yet, but she said about a Harry Potter one as well.
Oh, let's fucking go. Let's make that one as hard as possible. I want to destroy everybody.
Yeah. So maybe we'll put the link to those on the Twitter or something and we can all get involved.
For sure.
Yeah, sure. How about you, Oscar? What's your one?
Yeah, what's your thing?
Well, you already brought it up. I was going to say Tiger King because it's just so fucking crazy. What we did do is we did one of those, you know how you can rent like currently or would have been currently in theaters movies? Like that's the thing you can do now on your various streaming devices. So we rented Vin Diesel's movie Bloodshot,
Okay.
which had horrible reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. But it was based on, I think, either a graphic novel or a manga or something.
Sorry, the child keeps running in. This is like that guy when he was doing on the news in the South Korean correspondent.
Chuck's child has joined us on the pod.
Yeah, she's getting involved. What are your recommendations? Okay, yep.
Back
And
to
listening
Mum,
to
I
Baby
think.
Shark? Baby Shark, okay. You go listen to Baby Shark and do the dance.
It is a good song.
Daddy will just carry on, right?
Yeah, you can rent like currently in theaters movies now at home. So like they have Onward up there, which was the Disney movie with like Chris Pratt and Tom Holland.
Just because of the... Is this just because of the lockdown situation that like these things have been put on? Oh, right, okay.
So they're not dropping totally new movies on there yet.
But stuff that would have still been in the cinema.
Yeah, so stuff that was like in its second or third week.
Yeah.
That it's just not going to make any more money in the theaters now. So they're just putting it up on streaming and you can rent it for $20. Usually rentals for like a newish movie on Amazon will be like $5, $4.
Yeah.
These are 20, so these are more expensive, but you figure going out to the theater, especially if you have kids, like you take 3 people out to the theater, that's like $60 right there. You're making this rental for 20.
Oh, easily.
And that's before popcorn and shit. So we rented last night, we rented that Vin Diesel Bloodshot movie. It was fine.
Okay, so your one recommendation is watch a movie that's fine. Brilliant. Pay $20 and watch this average movie.
I just got really excited at the idea of like, I wonder if this will be a thing now that like when a movie comes out, you can go see it in theaters or you can rent it at home for like $20. Because maybe I feel like that'll get some people that otherwise wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah,
to watch
possibly.
It.
Yeah.
Like us with Bloodshot. There's no way we would have gone to see this in theaters.
Yeah.
But we were on the app last night and we were like, you want to rent one of the new movies? And it was there. And I was like, yeah, why the fuck not? Whatever. What else are we spending those $20 on right now anyway? So, yeah. That's it for Isolation Recommendation Station.
Oh, yes.
Oh, we'll clip that.
Yeah, got to make a jingle out of
a little
that.
jingle, mate. Yeah, perfect. So please get in touch on the social media if you'd like to bung something up Ian's hole. On Twitter at Miles Offside Pod, or like we said before, join us for free at the moment on the Patreon, patreon.com/Miles Offside Pod. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to talk with you again. Ladies and gents out there, thank you for listening. Please stay safe, please wash your hands, please isolate, and just be sensible. Thank you very much, Oscar.
Yep.
Thanks, Ian.
Thanks, Chuck.
And take care, everyone.
Miles Offside is a Nate Whittam and Mark Howells production.